Hello and welcome back to Lightworker Training. My name is Tatiana and the topic of today's video is act like you know. What am I talking about? Well, true knowledge expresses through all three modes of consciousness: mental, emotional, and physical. So if you are not acting, then you don't really know. So think about this. You can know intellectually that if you touch a hot stove, you'll burn yourself, and you might feel intuitively, emotionally, you've kind of processed that information, and you really know in your heart that that's not what you want to do, that's not in alignment. And then your actions are to keep burning yourself by touching the stove, then you don't really know that you don't want to touch the stove because you're still doing it. See what I'm saying? So this just seems like a no-brainer, but I feel like I need to actually get into this topic and kind of hammer some of these key principles home, because I see this happening over and over and over and over. And it's because we have been trained from the beginning to sit back, be a passive consumer, just take in whatever bullshit is being fed to us, spit it back out, regurgitate it, but don't ever do your own exploration. Don't ask too many questions. Don't be too rowdy, be very passive, sit back and just consume the thing that we want you to consume. So this is, we see this in the media. We see this with the prevalence of people sitting on their ass and looking at things on screens like this video. Hey, you know what? Nothing wrong with watching a video every once in a while. But if you're not actually taking steps to do the thing, what are you doing? You're not doing anything. I would like to say it's a waste of life, because life is so precious. Our time here is so precious, and yet we are immortal, infinite beings. So hey, you know what? If you want to just take this lifetime off, and a lot of folks seem to be doing that, that's fine. That's your prerogative. You do you. But if you want to actually get off of this plane of existence and graduate, or maybe just have a better life for yourself, heal a bunch of your old shit, maybe even make a positive contribution in the world, you have to understand how key this principle is and apply it. So it's all about the application. And you'll hear me talking about this all the time: practice, practice, practice. And that's why when I'm teaching classes, I don't do weekend-long intensives. I don't sit and teach and teach and teach for hours and hours. I teach for an hour or two, usually two. Part of that is a lecture, part of that is an interactive workshop, and then I have the students take a week to practice and integrate, because if you're not doing it, you have not integrated the knowledge. You don't really know. If you haven't integrated the knowledge, you don't really know. So we live in this amazing time where there's so much information available to us. You could say it's like an information age. But we have so much. It's so rich and it's wonderful. I love being able to just go online and research whatever it is I need to know at any given moment. I need a recipe for something, or I need to know how to put something together, how to fix something. It's fantastic. And I noticed this thing that happens where folks, and I have done this myself, trust me, But I have noticed it's very easy to get stuck in this loop of just consuming information without even proper discernment, without even running it through the filter of our hearts and feeling if it resonates, tuning into our intuition, being like, what does that feel like? Yeah, it feels like something might be off with it. Sometimes we're not even doing that. And then sometimes we get the information, we feel it, we're like, yes, this is what is up, and this is for me too. I want to do this. And then does it ever actually come to the action step? Well, let's be real, okay? So for every idea you have, not very many of them will actually come to a place of feeling through and really tuning into it. They're just kind of passing thoughts, right? And then for all of the things that you tune into and you feel like a resonance with, not all of those things are going to be things for you to take an action step on or for you to take action on now, right? And so that's part of the discernment too, and that's okay. But you have to actually take action on something. Otherwise, what are you doing? And so that's why I will put this out there as an invitation right now. If you've been binge watching these videos, just maybe take a break, take a day off, take a week off, and take some time to really feel into, is there something that you learned or something that you were reminded of in these videos? And you thought, yeah, man, I got to get back on that train, or I need to focus on that and bring more of that into my life. Please take some time to actually do that. If you're not practicing, you're not really learning anything. And the practice, hopefully, is something that is woven in all throughout the days of our lives. Yes, you can have your special moment of sitting on your meditation mat or, having your dedicated time. We were like, okay, I'm going to do my energy clearing. This is me doing energy clearing, I guess. I do a lot of hand motions, which I will teach you in this series eventually. Once I get through all of the consciousness stuff, I'll start getting into more of the energy work stuff. But without this consciousness stuff, I mean, this is just a basic one, right? But I feel like it's important because we have had all of this indoctrination into just be a passive consumer, right? And then there's been all of this like peer pressure and pressure in the media and things like that, and social media has just made it awful. Honestly, there's all this pressure to perform, from the moment you go into school. You get a like thumbs up or a thumbs down, right? You get an A or you get an F, you get a pass or you get a fail. And this thing is happening all the time on social media, right? And so I think a lot of folks are afraid to make a mistake, afraid to suck at something, afraid of being ridiculed, afraid of, somebody thumbs downing what they're doing. And I gotta tell you, if you don't dare to suck at something, you're never gonna do anything. So if you think about learning how to play music, when you first learn how to play a musical instrument, you're gonna suck. It's gonna be painfully awful, but you have to keep going through that part of, the fingers don't work, or the muscle memory isn't there and it just is awkward. But if you keep at it, you get better, right? And it gets more and more fun. I mean, even the sucking is fun. I think the worst thing about it is that we're afraid, like, oh, what if somebody hears me or sees me sucking so bad? You know what? Who cares? Who cares what anybody else thinks? This is another part of the control system and how it functions is through peer pressure and ridicule and people feeling like, well, I have to go along to get along and I can't, you know, stand out too much or go against the flow, or it'll make it that much harder for me. And so there might be some childhood trauma there to address, some inner world work to do. And that's totally legitimate. Hey, I'm not saying that we're not in these bad patterns for no reason. I mean, there's a perfect reason why we're afraid to suck, why we're afraid to take action and do the thing. So just like when you start playing an instrument and you get better and better, you start to trust that, okay, yeah, like I know where C is, I know where this chord is, I know. And you start to trust that your body has that muscle memory. It's exactly the same with light work. You have to just be kind of sucky and get frustrated, have all the feelings about it that you want. But if you want to get better, just keep going and it will get better. Just like this is, you could apply this to anything in life. You will build this really strong trust in yourself. You will build trust like a muscle. You'll get so strong in trusting yourself, trusting your abilities, trusting that you do have what it takes, that you can and you will do the thing that you say you're going to do, or build that the habits that create a new life for yourself. You can do it. But it does take building the trust muscle, trusting that you can suck and still be lovable. You can suck at something and still be amazing. It is amazing that you're breaking through that resistance, and that, and the resistance, like I said, it comes from childhood programming, and it also comes from the whole control system, this kind of like overarching parasite that's feeding off of our energy. When we start to break free of that, there is resistance that comes up from the collective, from the system of control, and all of these, all of these other things. But so that's a thing, and that is challenging sometimes. I'm not going to say that it's always challenging, because I don't want to put that curse on anybody. And my desire is to be able to share information and practices, see what I did there, of these tools that you can use to catch it a little bit faster, so you don't spend as much time in suffering as I've spent. Because trust me, I have spent years and years and years just going crazy because I wasn't applying some of these key principles in my life. So keep going, and you're going to build that really strong trust muscle and all of the other kinds of muscle memories of doing this work. You're going to build that really strong mind. You're going to build that really strong heart and discernment. You're going to build that ability to take action when you get the hit that this is the thing that you need to do it now. You're going to be like, boom, just get up and start moving toward the thing. I'm telling you, man, like this. So I've talked about like the 3 modes of consciousness, expressing how how consciousness expresses through all three modes, the mental, emotional, and physical. So with this tool of act like you know, one of the hacks is to actually get up and move your body toward the thing, whatever the thing is. So say you're like, I'm going to play my musical instrument every day. I'm going to start my day like that. Okay, well, just get up and move your body toward the musical instrument. You don't even have to worry about picking it up or playing or anything. Just get up and move your, break it down, chunk it down into these little micro focuses and foci, micro foci. and then it'll be easier to accomplish. Then you're like, okay, all I have to do is stand up, walk toward that ukulele. Since I have a ukulele here, might as well be a ukulele. Get up and move toward that ukulele. I don't even have to pick it up. Right now, my goal is to move my body towards it. So what do you think the odds are that if you get up and move your body toward the instrument, that you will pick it up? Pretty good, right? Pretty good odds. And then what are the chances that if you pick it up, you might actually do a little strumming, little plucking or something? Pretty good. And you don't even have to do it for very long. That's the genius part of this. I mean, it's seriously like 5 minutes, because the real exercise here is to go from a passive state to an active state. So there is some, I mean, physically speaking, right? Because there is some kind of mental activity, emotional activity, etc. But I'm talking about on the physical plane, right? You're moving from being physically passive to physically active. And that is so powerful. And I know I've talked about this before, talking about the importance of action. And I probably will do a couple videos on like how manifestation really works, but this is kind of a spoiler alert for that, sorry to all of you law of attraction people out there who just think you can, make up a vision board and your shit is good. I don't think anybody watching this video really thinks that. If you are here, you're probably attracted to the energy that I'm putting out there, and there's something that resonates with you. So you're probably not in that camp, but I might have to do some call outs anyway, just to be really clear about this stuff, because let's be real, there's a lot of new age bullshit and deception. I'll just call it deception because I think that there are plants in not only the new age religion, oh, and I will call it a religion, not only the new age religion, but also all religions and all disciplines and all different modalities of the different kinds of things that people enjoy doing and studying. There are people who have taken on the role of deceiver in all of these realms. Some of them knowingly, some of them unknowingly. Maybe they were just kind of a dupe themselves, and then they got encouraged to spread their dupery so that they could dupe other people. Who knows? I'm sure case by case basis. Some people are doing it more knowingly than others. But suffice to say, there's a lot of twisted and incomplete teachings out there. So a lot of the things that I see that are bullshit in New Age realm, they're missing key pieces like this thing that I'm talking about taking action. It's so important. It's so important. I mean, if you take this tool and work it, then you will accelerate so quickly. I mean, when I started learning how to do like energy work stuff and just all this weird spiritual stuff, right? I never thought I'd be into this kind of stuff, believe me. It just kind of happened, right? But what was I going to say? Oh, when I first started learning energy work, I excelled, and I excelled very quickly because I dedicated my life to doing the work. And there's a really good reason for that. If you've read my book, you know that, I had this experience when I was really fucked up. Anyway, you don't have to dedicate every waking moment that you're not already doing your slave job or whatever to excel. You just have to put enough work into it that to see the results. So the more you practice actually doing the thing, not reading about it, not watching videos about it, but doing the thing, then the faster you're going to get to a place of self-mastery. And that, my friends, is a good place to be. So last thing I want to put on your radar for this video is when you do that thing of kind of chunking it down and having this focus and micro focus, and you're like, I'm just going to do this thing for 5 minutes. Okay, boom. I'm just going to move toward the thing. When you do that, this is really key. You have to take the win. You have to give yourself that acknowledgement, and it's mostly for your inner child, because that's where this kind of not good enough, not enough programming from the parasite comes in, is during childhood. And that's why, we're like afraid of the thumbs up being thumbs down. Because whatever we did, it wasn't good enough. There was something that just wasn't good enough, right? We weren't good enough. We felt like we weren't good enough. So it's really important for yourself, for your self-esteem, and for your inner child, especially, to be like, yes, I did it. Even though you're going to hear that inner critic, I would bet money you're gonna hear that inner critic going, nah, 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 it's not good enough. Oh well, of course I should be able to do it for 5 minutes, or what am I, some kind of retard or something? Like, no, shut up. Just tell that inner critic, you shut up. Get out of here. Because I'll tell you, that inner critic isn't you. That inner critic isn't you. I'm going to say it one more time. That inner critic isn't you. So, you can work on getting rid of that thing. But take the win, take the win, take the win. Celebrate these victories, because these little seemingly insignificant acts are the things that are going to create miracles in your life. So you can take that one to the bank, and I don't know what bank is accepting that deposit. Probably God's bank. But I'm going to leave it there for today. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your dedicated effort. So when you get to the end of this video, get up and move towards something that you want to do. It could be anything. For me, maybe it's going to be washing my hair, because it's looking pretty greasy right now. I've been working out in the garden all day, so it's part of part of my look. If you have questions, as always, put them down below. You know where to find me. All the links are down there. And I will look forward to seeing you next time on Lightworker Training. Bye for now.